Hi, everybody who's just joined us. Thanks for coming in. We're letting in folks as they join us, and we will get started once the folks stop trickling in. Okay. Folks, please do feel free to turn on your cameras if you want to. If not, that is also okay. But I believe we are going to get started. Before we start fully, I just want to go over a couple housekeeping things. We've all been doing Zoom for a few years now, most likely, so you know where your mute button and your camera buttons are, but in case you don't, they should be in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen if you're on a computer. We also do have a live captioner here today, so if you would like to access our captions, at the bottom of your screen, you should see a button that says, what does that say? It says live transcript. You can click that button and then click view subtitle or view full transcript. If you have any questions about any accessibility during the meeting, you're welcome to type in the chat, or you can email us. So I'll put my email in the chat. My coworker Mary is here as well, and here's her email address. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. So welcome to our April Youth Leadership Forum focus group. Who we are. So I'm going to start. I'm Abby Ritter. I am the new Youth Advisory Specialist here at April. April stands for the Association of Programs for Rural Independent Living. So if you're not familiar with us, we are the voice of rural independent living here in the United States. And I will let Mary introduce herself.
Thanks, Abby. My name is Mary Willard. My preferred pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the Director of Training and Technical Assistance at April, and I currently live in Missoula, Montana. So I'm just here to back up Abby today and to get to know all of you. Feel free if you would like to turn on your cameras when you introduce yourselves so we can get to know you better.
Excellent. Oh, I should also say my pronouns are she, her, and I am currently in Worcester, Massachusetts. So before we keep going, I have to give a big shout out to the Ford Foundation. We want to say thank you so much to the Ford Foundation, who is our funder for our continued youth programming. Without them, we would not be able to be doing this focus group or any of the programming that we plan to do. So thank you to them. And this is our intent for the focus group. So today we're trying to meet two goals. One is to identify what youth and young adults want and need from leadership programming. And the other is to gauge interest in peer support and or mentorship programming. So hopefully we can cover those two topics fully today. So I'd love to hear from all of you. Mary and I have introduced ourselves, but we would like if you could introduce yourselves as well so we know who we're talking to. So if you could give us your name, what your pronouns, where you're from, and then tell us 1 to 2 sentences about what you think makes a good leader. So Whoever would like to volunteer to go first, please feel free. Otherwise, I will start calling on people.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, first of all, my name is William Jean. My pronoun is he or him. I'm from New York. And the question that says, what makes a good leader? Actually, to me, what makes a good leader? A good leader is a person who sees into others' situations, like problems. Yeah, something of the sort.
Okay, thank you, William. Who would like to go next?
I can go next. I'm Emma. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Lansing, Michigan originally, but I live in Missoula. And I think someone that makes a good leader is someone who sticks with something that they want to do and doesn't give up and achieves it.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma. Who am I going to see next?
Hello.
Oh, Sarah, we heard you for a second. I'm not sure if you're having a microphone or a connection issue. Sarah, if it's easier or if it's easier for anybody and you'd like to introduce yourselves in the chat, please feel free.
My name is Somo. My pronouns are he or him. I'm from New York, and I think a good leader is someone who serves the people.
All right, thank you, Samuel. Let's see, who haven't we heard from yet?
Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes. Abby, while they're trying to get going, I'll say Sarah Jones, is she, her, from New York? She thinks a leader is somebody who is innovative and ethical.
I like those words. And I see Emily's typing in the chat. So while Emily types, go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin, I think you're having some trouble too.
Emily says in the chat, hi, I'm Emily. She uses she pronouns. And a leader is someone who can carry people along and is always ready to make sacrifices. Very cool. Thank you. I don't believe we've heard from Logan or from Roland yet. It's possible folks are typing in the chat. So while we are doing that, Mary, I created a poll for the group today. And I think since you're host, could you enable that? It just has some demographic questions for folks to answer.
Sure.
Maybe I can. Oh, there we
Logged
go.
in from another device. Your polling session's inactive. Maybe it's you.
I have now launched it. So I have just launched a poll. I believe it should have popped up on everybody's screen. If you could take just a moment while we're chatting to fill this out. We're just trying to gather demographics just so we know who we're talking to. So I will leave that running while we chat.
So Dustin says in the chat, hi, I'm Dustin. I'm from Texas. A leader is one who leads people in order to achieve a set goal.
Very cool. Thank you. And hello, Roland. We see your chat. Glad you're here. If folks could do me a favor, I'm noticing if you are one of the folks who's joining us from New York, could you type in the chat or press the raise hand button in Zoom just so we can see?
Great. And Roland says, hi, I'm Roland. A leader is someone who leads people.
Asked and answered. All right.
Awesome. Okay. I think maybe, has Catherine gone yet?
I don't think so. Catherine, if you are able to and would like to share a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
And I think maybe Haley
Hi.
as well. Hi.
Hi, Mary. You already know me.
Awesome. Do you mind sharing for others just your name,
Yeah.
pronouns,
So
and where you're from?
Mary, I couldn't fix my name in the chat, so it's Paige.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, that's
Paige,
why I was like, you already. Yeah, that's why I was like, you already know me. So right now I'm in Durham. And Mary, what's the next one? Where I'm in Durham.
Let's see. What makes a good leader?
How do I put this? Not someone who makes people do things, but inspires them to like want to follow them because they do good things.
Awesome. Thanks, Paige.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. And then Haley, I don't know, Haley, it doesn't look like it's connected to audio.
Okay.
So I don't know that they can hear us right now. Oh, hi, Haley, you can.
Great, Haley. Can you just type in the chat for us if you would like where you're from and what makes a good leader? Awesome. Why don't we go ahead and move on? Abby, if you want, well.
Yes, sure.
Cool.
All right. So here's just a little bit about what April is doing right now. We are our two kind of main facets of our youth programming are our youth steering committee, which is a group that meets monthly to plan the second part of our youth programming, which is the youth day of the April conference. We welcome all folks to attend, even if they're not able to or planning on attending the April conference. We like to get as much feedback as we can from all over the US. Additionally, the April Youth Conference is a day-long conference that takes place prior to the main April conference. This is a full day of programming focused on youth and what youth are looking for, what they need, what their specific ideas are for rural independent living. We also run a youth track during the main April conference, and our conference ends every year with a youth wrap up where youth tell us something. They're welcome to get up on stage and tell us anything about themselves, about the conference. We want them to be the final voice heading us into the future after each conference. So I did have a few questions, primarily either by show of hands or if anybody would like to share, who here has participated in the youth steering committee before?
And again, you can raise your hand with the reactions button. So it should look like a happy face on the bottom of your screen. Or you can type in the chat, you have or have not.
Oh, Haley has said a good leader always puts their followers first. Thank you, Haley. Emma has not. Hi, Joey. Thanks for joining us. So have any of you previously attended the April conference? William has not. Okay. Paige, you attended virtually. Paige, could you tell us a little more about what you liked or what you didn't like about your attendance at the conference? Oh, Paige, you are muted.
Okay, so I liked that everybody was there and I could, because it was virtual, I liked that I could see everyone on video. So
Awesome.
that was kind of personal. I missed that it was in person, but that was okay. But there was a lot of different information each day. So there was always something I could go to. So like I remember one thing that stuck out in my mind that I went to was like a fair housing thing. And that was helpful because I moved into an apartment. So it was like, this is something I can use.
That's excellent. Is there anything outside of it being virtual that you would want to change about the conference?
I don't know because I don't know how it is in person, so I don't
That's
know if
fair.
it would have been different.
Yeah, that's very fair. I also haven't had the chance to attend an in-person conference or a virtual conference, so I will take any and all feedback. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share about their experience with the April conference or with our youth steering committee? Mary, was that you raising your hand?
No, sorry, I was just waving at Paige. I was like, oh yeah, I remember you now that I see your face.
All right, I'm checking our chat and I'm not seeing anything. All right, we will move forward. Oh, okay. So upcoming projects. This is where we're really looking for your feedback. Thank you to the generous funding from the Ford Foundation. We are able to take all of the programming that we've done with youth and move it to the next level. So that is going to look like the following two things. Our youth leadership program, which we're hoping up to 20 youth and young adults with disabilities will meet weekly via Zoom for 6 weeks to learn from experts and from each other in areas that they've identified as important to their growth. We will then be able to bring all of those participants to attend and volunteer at the April conference in Orlando, and they will do so free of charge. So that it's part of their participation in the program. We're also hoping to start a youth peer support group, which is going to be either a monthly or a bi-weekly Zoom call for disabled youth and young adults to discuss their own issues and concerns in their lives and to be able to continue those conversations through social media, such as something like Discord, Instagram, whatever works for those particular youth. So this is what we've got going on, and we want to know more about what you want to learn from things like this. So big question. Have you participated in leadership training before? if you're not sure, leadership programming or leadership training could come from school, from college or university, a youth leadership forum, summer camps, groups such as Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Does anybody have any experience with these sorts of programs? Paige says yes. Excellent, Paige. Would you like to elaborate? Emma says, I'm part of the Montana Youth Leadership Forum alumni. Awesome. Love to have folks who have come through YLFs. North Carolina YLF, says Paige. In college, says Samuel. Sarah says through a workshop. Sarah, would you like to tell us a little bit more about that kind of workshop? Emily says, yes, I do. It's great to hear that folks are going through these kinds of trainings. That's what we are hoping to hear.
Here, Pierre.
Online, okay. Would anybody like to, oh, Sarah, it's a random youth group that organized a workshop one day, kind of meeting, and leadership was one of the many topics covered. Okay, very cool. So it was a one-day.
Sarah, I'd love to hear more about the random youth group. Is it a disability specific youth group or a different one? Oh, and Emily says she got hers at UPLIFT. Awesome. I'll have to look that up.
The UPLIFT that I'm familiar with works in like fandom convention spaces, but I'm sure that there's more than one group called UPLIFT. It feels like a very group heavy name. Held recently online. Okay, very cool.
Emily says it's leadership and coping skills.
Very cool. Would anybody else like to share or tell us about what they've experienced as far as leadership training? Or if you're not sure if you've participated in leadership training, we would be happy to clarify.
Feel free to try to turn your mic on too, so you don't have to just listen to us. I know if you need to leave your video off because of bandwidth, but we'd love to hear your voices if we can.
I heard about UPLIFT too, but I missed it sadly. Okay, so we will have to do some looking into UPLIFT, Mary. I promise we don't bite.
I don't see anything about UPLIFT. I'll have to.
Can I go?
Yes, please.
Absolutely, Emily.
Okay, Uplift is just like about for youth and high school students or some students in college, but it's mainly for high school students. It's like a group of up to 100 youth, and they come together on Zoom for like 4 days straight, and that's 3 hours each day to learn like coping skills and leadership skills too.
Awesome.
Very cool. I think I just found their website, which is
Great.
exciting. I will thank you, Emily, for sharing about this.
Do you mind, Emily, sharing with us when you say leadership skills and coping skills, was there one workshop or one skill in particular that you thought was just really important and that you think other young people should learn about as well?
Yes, I love the program about emotional intelligence because it taught us how to like relate with yourself and how to relate with your peers, how to understand what people are feeling and how to like help their situation, people around you, how to be of help to your friends at school, your siblings at home, and anyone that you come across that might need your help emotionally, because it's like an aspect that has been really overlooked, and this is why many people do stuff that they don't want to do because people hardly understand people emotionally.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Emily.
Who else? Does anybody else want to share something from one of the leadership programs that they have been a part of? Was there one thing that really stood out to you that you thought would be important for other young people to learn about?
I can
Oh, go ahead.
I can mention the Montana Youth Leadership Forum that I was a part of.
Yeah, that would be great. What was something that really stood out to you that really that you took back with you that you really want other people to learn about?
Well, I just really liked because I have a learning disability. I just liked being able to be around people that had different life experiences than I did, and being able to make relationships and friendships out of that really helped.
Awesome. So being able to share in that peer support with others.
Yes.
Thank you.
In the chat, Samuel says, mine was a seminar. We were taught skills of a great leader, such as communication, building confidence, and understanding other people. All definitely important parts of leadership. Samuel, what being able to serve people as a great leader. Samuel, what seminar was it that you attended, if you can remember? It was in college. Okay.
Great.
Excellent.
Before Abby moves on, does anybody else want to share something about a leadership training they've been a part of? What's something that, you know, really hit home for you? How about you, Paige? Was there anything specifically at the North Carolina YLF that you just thought, wow, I wish I could learn more about this? Calling you out, sorry.
It's fine, Mary, I'm thinking.
While Paige thinks, does anybody else want to hop in and share with us about their experiences?
Mary, I'm not thinking of anything like specifically, but one thing that like pops into my head was when we did the you were there when we did the chant thing where we learned how to do a protest basically, and it was like the I want to live my life the way I want to live my life. That stuck with me.
Awesome. Oh, I just got chills remembering that. Those were pretty fun. So learning how to be a part of a big community change effort, like the civil disobedient piece.
Yeah, but like that whole like the whole thing of the whole week of like I have a choice, that stuck with me.
Awesome.
That's a great quote. Knowing that you have a choice. Dustin has shared with us, I attended a class. The topic was leadership. We were made to understand qualities of a leader, how to be a good leader, and how one can handle leadership roles. Dustin, was there anything about that class that really stuck out to you? Things that you think are important for other people to learn?
Or what was one of the qualities of a leader that you learned about? We're really just curious about what others think makes that up. A leader must,
Empathy.
oh yes.
A leader must have empathy. Were there any particular topic areas that you learned about that really stuck out to you? I know earlier somebody mentioned learning about emotional intelligence as being important.
I hadn't even thought about that one. That was interesting.
Joey agrees with the idea of needing to have empathy for sure. Okay. What do you think, Mary? Are we good to?
I think so. Let's move on and hear what they think about what we're brainstorming.
So while we've been developing this program, we've been kind of, oh, excuse me, we'll go back. Samuel says in the chat, well, I think it's important that people learn more about empathy as a good leader, cognitive, emotional, and compassionate. Thank you, Samuel. Good feedback. So while we have been brainstorming our April Youth Leadership Program, we've kind of divided out our topics into 4 main categories: knowing your rights, knowing your value, knowing your limits, and knowing your community. So we have ideas about what we think fall under these, larger headings, but we're really interested in knowing what you all want to know more about, what you want to learn about, and what you think falls into each of these categories. We would also like to know if there's anything under these different topics that you're tired of hearing about, like you've attended YLFs or you've attended other programs and you've learned over and over about a particular topic and you don't want to hear about it again. We want to know that too. Please feel free to unmute and share.
I can go first.
Go for it.
I was kind of sticking between knowing your rights and knowing your value. Knowing your rights is like, well, I just think of like the 5 freedoms that you have. And then for knowing your value, like coming into context with the YLF that I was part of in Montana, getting to bring what you had to say to the table and getting to hear what other people had to say as well.
So having that equity and conversation of knowing what you're able to share and hearing what others can share.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Emma. Sarah says in the chat, ethical, because at times it's just a word not really implemented. Sarah, can you elaborate on that for us? And yes, Logan, I can repeat the question. So we are interested in finding out what types of topics you all are interested in learning more about from a leadership program. So our 4 main topics are knowing your rights, knowing your value, knowing your limits, and knowing your community. And we would like to know what topics within those areas you want to know more about. Where do you think you can grow? Go ahead, Oh, knowing your value. Okay. Samuel, I'm going to come right back to you. Emily, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to learn more about knowing your value.
What in that
It would-
area interests you?
Because I think that it helps for working on low self-esteem and confidence when someone knows their value. I've always heard. So it's something that I would really love to learn more about.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Samuel, I saw you said also in the chat, knowing your value. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Are there certain topics within that stick out to you, such as even knowing your monetary value, like how to negotiate for wages, or knowing what you are able to bring to a group that you participate in? Sarah has elaborated and said ethical has a different meaning to everyone. So when one person's definition is not met, the other party rules it out as unethical. Absolutely. So learning about ethics and learning about how to maintain ethics. Logan has said a few times knowing your value. So that's what I'm hearing. A lot of folks are interested in knowing their value as a topic. Would anybody else like to share?
Abby, I'll add to that.
Go for it, Paige.
Like it always comes up, but like we touch on it a little bit at YLF, but not much. But like relationships in general and like healthy boundaries and all of that kind of thing.
Sure. So relationships and healthy boundaries.
And that doesn't
So
mean, and Abby, I'm not thinking just like romantic relationships. I'm thinking people in general.
Sure. So what kind of things in the area of healthy relationships do you feel like folks need to learn more about?
Well, like for instance, things that I've seen or experienced, like if you're not given choices, how do you know what boundaries are? It's easy to get taken advantage of in some way.
If you're not given your choices, then people will just do what they want.
Or if you don't know what your choices are.
Excellent. Okay. That's good to hear.
So maybe even a little bit of like knowing what your rights are, to know what to expect for yourself, you think?
You could go there too, probably.
Cool. I mean, I think it goes in all of them. I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, that's great. I think we could add that into all the spaces.
Scrolling up through the chat, Wendy has said knowing your rights. Samuel says, yeah, knowing your value helps to make decisions and take action. Joey says rights. Dustin says learning to know your worth, even though you have to put your people first before yourself. And knowing your value, says Haley. Dustin, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that idea of putting other people before yourself? Is that something that you value, or is that something you feel everybody should value? And while, Dustin, you think it's something everyone should value? Okay. Do you feel that that's something it would be important to learn in a program like this? Emily says me too. What does putting other people before yourself look like in a leadership space? What does it look like when a leader puts other people first? Go ahead, Emily.
Okay, I think it's when you put the comfort of others before yours. I think it's understanding that as a leader, you're there to serve, not basically to lead or to have everyone at your beck and call. So that way you're putting others before you. You think of the comfort of others before yourself, because it's a role that the people are depending on you for whatever. So you just have to like always know about their needs and their comfort.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add to that? Putting other people, Samuel says putting other people first means serving other people as a leader. So those two things go hand in hand. While we're on this slide, I want to come back to, are there things that you are tired of hearing about? Are there topics that you've heard over and over again in leadership training that you don't think need to be discussed again? Lots of agreement with Emily.
Maybe while folks are thinking about something that they don't want to hear any more about, I don't know if Abby, we're coming down to our last 15 minutes here. If you want to, was there another slide after this? I think there is. No. Yeah.
Yes, there is one more, which is mostly just any other thoughts or questions or comments or concerns that anybody has. And also my contact information is here in case you're interested in learning about or participating in any of April's future programming.
So I guess while folks are thinking, maybe we could just go around and I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. I love what you guys are saying about putting others first and being able to serve. And I guess my question is, how do you teach that to somebody else? I don't know if it's something that is that something that you can teach to another individual about how to put others first? And if anybody has ideas of how did you learn to do that? Oh, Emily, great. Do you mind sharing a little bit about how you think we can teach that to other people?
I feel that when it comes to leadership, the best way to teach someone to do something is by doing it yourself, and they seeing you do it, like you practicing it and they see you do it. Because it's not always easy. I mean, you tell somebody to like put others first, like it's not easy to put others first before yourself. But when someone who is learning how to be a leader from you sees how you're doing it and how you are putting them first before yourself, I think that's easier to emulate and learn.
So leading by example.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Emily. Is there anybody else who'd like to share? What are some ways that we can help teach you or other people about becoming leaders? Do you have any thoughts? Are there certain skills we should be teaching? Or maybe there's a certain way that we could teach it. Is it better to do it, in a peer group or as a webinar training or in person? Any kinds of thoughts any thoughts people have? Oh, great.
Samuel mentions showing practical experience. Yes, so that leading by example, practicing it in groups. Sure, so having some experiential learning opportunities. Wendy, when you say practicing in groups, do you mean like role-playing situations? Do you mean actually going out and demonstrating, for example? Tell me more about what you mean, if that's okay. Emma mentions having accommodations that can help you. Wendy says assigning people randomly in groups. Okay, so okay. Wendy says assigning people randomly in groups and having lessons at the end of each rotation. So making sure to take time for that practical experience during each of the sessions, which that is definitely something that we have considered. The structure that we're currently thinking about is a 2-hour group per week, with the first hour being kind of more lesson and discussion based format, when the second hour giving us opportunities to practice the things that we learned in the first hour. Does that sound like a good format to folks, or do you have thoughts about how you would want a group like this to be formatted? And Emma mentions learning targets. Emma, if you want to tell us more about that too, that would be great.
Yeah, I just think learning targets would be good because it could give you a layout and kind of a plan of where you're gonna be going, so that you can have an idea of what you're planning to do.
Excellent. So making sure that you set yourself a goal that you're trying to target.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sierra and Samuel both say that that sounds like a good format, as people get to learn through actual application of the taught skill. Excellent. That's good to hear. Another thing that we've been talking about doing is incorporating a journaling piece into our program. So as folks go from week to week during the program, we would ask them to journal, whether that is through actually, writing in a journal, or some people might choose to go more creative with it through art or songwriting or poetry. Is that something that sounds doable? If you were in a program like this and somebody asked you to journal each week, is that something you would be willing to participate in? Is there another way that we should ask people to gauge their progress? Yes, you're welcome to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Awesome. There's a couple of folks saying they'd be interested in the art format. Great.
I want to make sure that we hear from everybody. So if we've missed somebody, or if folks have something that they want to share about anything we've discussed today, please feel free to chime in, raise your hand, or type in the chat. You'd be happy to participate. That's good to hear.
I'm curious if folks would be willing to share, like thumbs up or down, or maybe it was in the demographics, Abby. Are there folks here who would say, yes, I'm a person with a disability? Whether that's invisible or visible. And if you don't feel comfortable saying it, you don't have to. You could always just give us a thumbs up or maybe. Awesome. Thanks, Emma, for sharing.
Yes, Emily as well. Logan says yes.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for sharing. I know Abby and I both as well identify as having invisible disabilities. So it's always kind of neat to find out, you know, what kinds of folks we're serving now, I guess. You know, traditionally we used to talk a lot about things like how to get ramps into your home, or how to get, you know, how to find a restaurant with a ramp. And so I think it's neat to learn about some, you know, learning disabilities and other kinds of disabilities, and maybe thinking about what kinds of access issues or, you know, rights you would like to learn about, if that's different or not.
I think the way that we think about disability is really shifting as a society. So knowing who we are working with and what kinds of things that they need. For example, I'm a person with autism, and I don't necessarily require any physical access needs as I'm able-bodied, but what access looks like for me versus somebody who uses crutches or a wheelchair, it's totally different. Oh, no worries. On the typing, Joey, that happens to me more than you'd think.
So for example, one thing that our youth advocates at April really pushed us for is that now at all of our conferences, we offer a quiet room. And it's a space where we try to keep the lights dimmer, and we offer water and chairs, and it's in a place away from the events going on. So it's quieter, and a place to just kind of sit and be. And that's something that we changed about accommodations we offered based on advocacy from our young people because of the shift in who we were serving. So I don't know, I guess I was just curious about how, you know, how we can support the young leaders coming, if there's, you know, things that we're not thinking about that we can incorporate in the learning format.
I'll jump in if it's not too much.
Go for it, Paige.
Please do.
So like one accommodation that we're doing in my new job that we hadn't recently thought of, I'm getting noise canceling headphones.
Excellent.
So
So
that's something to be thought about.
so is your job providing those for you or giving you
Yes.
That's awesome. Very cool. You are the first person I've met who has had that accommodation provided for them by a job, which I think is incredible.
I mean, it's through VR, but it's tricky. It's still through a client, but they taught me how to do it. So yay.
That's awesome, Paige. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen one more time. So my contact information is here. If anything we've talked about today has piqued your interest, if you want to learn more about our programs, if you are interested in participating in our programs, you can email me here. I'm also going to type it in the chat for those of you who might be using a screen reader. Please feel free to reach out. We are always looking for more folks to join us in our organization and join our programs. Our annual April conference is in October. It's in Orlando, Florida this year, and you can find more information on our website, which is also in the chat. Lastly, if you are interested in offering some more feedback and you haven't done so already, we are running an online survey. It shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes of your time. And I have put that link in the chat as well. Feel free to click through and fill out that survey for us. If you have more thoughts that you didn't get the opportunity to share today, or if something comes to you later, you now have plenty of ways to reach out to us. We have about 3 minutes left. If anybody
Any final thoughts that people
Yes.
want to leave us with? I just wanted to say thank you all for taking your time out to share your information with us. I know, Abby has been putting lots of work into this program, and we just really want to make sure that it's consumer-led, grassroots-led. So it's important for us to get your feedback and make sure that we're hitting the mark or not. So thanks for joining.
All right, folks, last call for any other comments, questions, concerns, thoughts. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely, Sarah. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Again, please feel free to email if you need any. My phone number is also there, but always the best way to get me is by email. All right, folks, have a wonderful rest of your Monday. And we hope to hear from you in the future. Thank you, everybody.